Program. If you are easily triggered or offended, please exercise caution while viewing this program because the hosts really don't care. Warning, this show is not for children and not for coworkers either.
Yay! Oh, whoops.
Oh, I thought we were going to have the. I thought that, yeah, there you go. I was dancing.
Oh, yeah. Who needs 100 rounds in the chamber? Yeah. Sorry, guys. Hey, Windows updates are amazing because just when you've got your computer, set up so the show works 85, 90% of the time, Windows comes in and they do some updates to help you make sure that your security is better. And they turn everything else off and fuck it up completely.
That's nice of them, though. You got to appreciate it a little bit. Don't be a hater, dude. They're trying.
Yeah, there's a lot of companies out there that would be like, here's a product that we tested and we're not going to mess with it anymore. No, not Microsoft. They want you to have this interactive experience living with them.
Good morning,
like your
sir.
In-laws are visiting forever.
Did your in-laws visit this? I was going to ask how your weekend was, but did your in-laws visit?
Yeah. And I love my in-laws. I love my in-laws, and in fact,
CYA.
this week, yeah, right. This weekend was my daughter's 5th birthday. Lily,
that's right.
5.
How was the birthday party on Saturday?
Huge weekend.
Awesome.
We had a huge weekend. It started on her actual birthday was Friday. The party was Saturday. So we all Friday I stayed home and we went and did stuff together. And then Saturday we did stuff together. And then Sunday. So it was like a 3-day weekend of I'm exhausted.
I can imagine. Yes.
Good morning. How are you? What's going on? I saw a photo you posted of your daughter.
She went to a Halloween party this weekend. I posted a photo on our Discord server, and she dressed up like I can't remember the name of it, but it's this thing called creepypasta. Have you heard of this? This is a new thing.
No.
The kids. Okay, yeah, I didn't know. Creepypasta, and I was like, "What is that?" And so my son explained it. Deacon explained it to me, and then Alex explained it to me, and then Kendra explained it to me, and I still don't quite grasp the concept of what it's like. They're like urban legends on the internet, is what I'm kind of. It's like, okay, that's like an. We used to call those urban legends, but now that's like on the internet, and you call it creepypasta, and I don't. Okay, so she dressed up like an urban legend creepypasta thing. And
okay,
in our Discord server.
Yeah,
very scary. Yeah. Speaking of scary, JJ, let's get to our songs and move along. I've got some really cool AI news here at the end of the show, so you get to use your.
Yes, we have a block of. I have a block of AI set up.
Okay, what you get that ready. So this month, if you don't know, I'm a DJ. Been a DJ for like 30 years. I'm not an on-air personality. I'm actually a DJ because I love music. I know music. I love all kinds of music. I study music. And this month, we're doing Halloween songs. And so I was going through my list of Halloween songs that I've been picking from, and I ran across this song that I haven't ran across this year yet, but it is my favorite Halloween song of all time. I should have saved it for Halloween.
Oh, yeah.
This one is my favorite Halloween song of all time. I have to say, this one is one that I have to listen to every single year at Halloween. And I bet you don't even know it. I bet you actually do. Have you ever seen the movie Back to School with Rodney Dangerfield?
Oh my God. 30 years ago, maybe.
Okay.
Like
so
in
that movie, there's a scene where they have a dorm party. And there is a band playing at that dorm party called Oingo Boingo. Oingo Boingo had a song called Dead Man's Party that they played in that movie. And I saw that. And that's the first time I ever heard Dead Man's Party by Oingo Boingo. And I love it. It is my favorite Halloween song. I have to listen to it every single year. I listen to it multiple times. I just listened to it again this morning. It's just, I don't know. I just love it. But the lead singer of Oingo Boingo you might recognize his name. So he went on, he did not, Oingo Boingo kind of dismantled, and he went on to do other things. The lead singer's name is Danny Elfman. Have you ever heard of Danny Elfman?
Yeah. Danny Elfman has made soundtracks for so many movies.
Every movie you've watched in the past 30 years.
My favorite
70%
Danny
of them are
Elfman track
Danny Elfman.
is my favorite Danny Elfman movie soundtrack would be the soundtrack for Wanted. That soundtrack for that movie just like kicks. I like it. So, anyway, Danny Elfman's made like
Danny Elfman is a musical. He's up on the top. You've got the top musical people, and then you have the people that are on top of them. And there's very few of those, and he's one of those.
You got the stack of movie people, and then you have a little table where people are having like a dinner, and John Williams and Danny Elfman are having they're having a little party.
When it comes to musical,
yeah.
So that's your Halloween song. Please, if you've never listened to Dead Man's Party, it's really cool. I love the song. Ooh, nice mug today. I don't even have coffee today. And Sinister Minister's werewolf bonus song this week on our Discord server is "I'm a Werewolf Baby" by the Tragically Hip. You know the Hip? Are you a hipster?
I know something about the Tragically Hip, but I don't know if I know that song.
Yeah. Listen to that. That's cool.
Baby. I'm a werewolf baby.
Yeah. So there.
All right. Good morning, guys. Monday through Friday, we meet here at rumble.com at JJ/JJW, and we talk news, politics, culture, pop culture, whatever. Good morning to you. So we got some fun weekend news. Just get the week started off right. Your president and mine had a little give a little speech this weekend at the Human Rights Campaign National Dinner on Saturday night. Joe Biden got up there and was talking to everybody, and he was talking about something. It's important when you're speaking in public. It's really important that you be viewed as an authority on the topic. You don't want to go out and convey a very important message and have people kind of dismiss you. You want to be perceived as an authority on the things.
There's many ways to do that. You have to keep yourself educated on the topic. You have to present yourself with your posture. You have to present yourself with your voice a certain way. Even your entrance and how you. Yeah. There's a whole process to do this. Exactly right.
Oh yeah. Because and it's like this. Like if you're conveying a super important message, but then you sound like you don't know what you're talking about,
right?
Then people may not take you seriously and may not, breathe in that message and like really integrate it into their internal self.
Okay. Yeah.
But we have a consummate professional speaker, President Joe Biden. He's been in government for like 60, 70 years, 100 years, maybe. Who knows? I don't know.
He should be a professional.
We all could learn a lot of something from our president right here. Let me push this button, and we're gonna get a minute or so of the speech. Just I just think this is the best way to start your day, start your week, really. So let's hear what Prezi B has got to say.
And then pass again the assault weapons ban, which Diane and I passed.
Assault weapons ban.
No excuse.
No excuse. Okay. Angry.
Who in God's name needs a weapon with 100 rounds in a chamber?
What? What? I must have misheard.
Excuse. Who in God's name needs a weapon with 100 rounds in a chamber? The weapon's only meant for one thing: to kill people.
No shit, dude.
Well,
no shit.
Well, President, I don't have a master's degree in gunology or gun whatever.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
and I'm just a good old country boy from Kentucky, and I'm not even the countryest country boy from Kentucky. Okay, right. I'm the geeky. You need to meet my brother. You want to meet a country boy? Meet him. I'm not. Yeah. I'm the yang to his yin. Like I'm much like us. So I know that
all right. So the chamber,
I don't even have anything to say.
He's not even talking about a magazine. He's talking about the chamber.
The
The chamber is where the bullet is sitting right before it's deployed down the barrel. There is only one round in the chamber. You put 100 rounds in a chamber, and guns gonna malfunction immediately.
Even on me and Deacon watched Predator yesterday, the original with Arnold Schwarzenegger, and even the part where Jesse the Body Ventura gets killed, Blaine gets killed, and Mac picks up the minigun and mows down all those trees. Even the minigun there has 6 chambers,
right?
Or 8 chambers.
Even that gun was only
goes down.
Yeah, even that gun was shooting 1 bullet per chamber. Okay. And you know what an assault weapon is? What's an assault weapon? Any idea? I don't know.
Okay, so let's quit making fun of him and actually say, okay, you made a gaffe. Everybody makes gaffes.
Sure.
You meant to say who needs an assault weapon with a 100-round magazine. Okay, you didn't mean to say chamber. You meant to say magazine. So let's take that point. He's trying to make that point because that's what the liberals would say. You're just making fun of him. You're not listening to the point. Let's actually listen to the point. Who needs magazine, a gun with 100 rounds magazines? What about people paratrooping into a music festival?
Kidding. Yeah, so I'm thinking of a meme that I've seen in the last 3 days.
What about the 7 million immigrants that have come into our country that have been painted the picture that they're women and children and families looking for work, but they're really, I believe, NATO soldiers? I have heard so much little people and conspiracy stuff, and I heard one over the weekend that was really interesting. A woman in England that had a bed and breakfast on the outskirts of wherever, and she was confiscated by whatever, and the government said, "I'm going to pay you a crap load of money to house these people," and her bed and breakfast was basically an immigrant shelter now. And she said, I realized I did take the money. I needed the money. I took the money. One of the conditions she said was she had to fire all of her staff and they would provide staff for her. And she said, they gave me a lot of money. And then she said they ended up, they needed a secure place to ship some boxes. And so you can take this if you want to believe it or not, whatever. But she said they shipped all these boxes in. They wouldn't tell her what these boxes were and whatnot. And they would do very governmental things for her, call and say things and demand certain things. And she said they gave her this sealed envelope, and they were like, at a certain time, you'll get a call to undo this envelope and please follow the instructions. And so she ended up, the curiosity and friends convincing her to open the envelope in case there was something dangerous. And it was a list of all of the immigrants that were staying with her and numbers beside their name that she was supposed to give each person their number. And so she went out and moved the boxes and opened the boxes, and the boxes were numbered with those numbers. And there were AK-47s and grenades and shit in the boxes. So that's when she ended up deciding, she was like, I can't be the cause of something because of my ineptitude and being told what the government. And she's like, I moved the boxes. So she was like, so like I said, you can take it or leave it. It was a story from a woman, who was anonymous. So, I mean,
who knows?
But I'm just painting a picture of all these immigrants in the country, all this conspiracy bullshit that's going on could very well be true. Okay. That they tested the phones.
It doesn't have to be all of them.
They have small little teams that go around and attack electrical stations all over the place. There's so much damage. You will never get it all back on in time. And then places are going to start running out of food. People are going to start going crazy. And then you're going to have to rely on the government. And so FEMA is going to be like, hey, we've got this cool little camp set up already up here for you. We've got food and supplies and you'll be safe. There you go.
There's the meme we were both thinking about a minute ago. Who would ever need an AR-15? Whoever needs 100 rounds in the chamber? I mean, I tell you what. You think like, oh, that shit could never happen here. That happened in Israel, over in in the middle of the dude. What the fuck?
Do you know
of course
how
this
long
shit could happen here?
Do you know how long it's been since we've had an official war on our soil like that? I mean, we've been quiet wars. since it's been over 150 or 60 years.
Yeah.
We are quite overdue. If you look at historically, we're
Mhm.
quite overdue for something.
We're behind the averages.
Yeah, unfortunately.
And
I
the
hate to say
thing
that.
is, like, it's like better to have it and not need it than need it and not have it. As a whole bunch of people found out recently. You know what I found out this morning in Israel? Israel has like really strict gun laws. And most people, I think, are allowed to own a pistol and no more than 50 rounds. And the pistol and maybe ammunition is to be kept at an IDF like storage facility until you need it. Like right now, they're allowed to have 100 rounds because they're under siege. But like either 3 weeks ago, people in Israel weren't rolling around with like their own firearms, not able to defend themselves, which means that those kids at that music festival had no chance at all.
No chance. They had no chance.
They had no chance. Even under their maximum, legal liberties at the time, they would have had no chance. Whereas, like, something busted out in Texas. There's I don't know. I'm not saying that we would like repel them immediately, but like there'd definitely be some hurt. There'd be some minor punishment. All right, so your president is a dipshit. We had some obviously a bunch of war news, so we're going to talk about some more news. Let's see. Let's do some more news. I saw this story this weekend and I thought, oh my god, that's interesting. The French government basically said, there's going to be no pro-Palestinian, support or whatever. You guys are not doing that. You start doing that, and we're going to start, I don't know, deporting people that are foreign nationals that are doing pro-Hamas, pro-Palestinian support.
Right.
And so I saw this story on Breitbart. Imam calls on the French government to deport all foreign Islamist extremists without pity. An imam. Isn't that interesting? An imam in Paris has basically said deport migrants that are known to the police for Islamic extremism. He's basically like, these guys ain't with me. Get them out of here. Isn't that interesting? Yeah. In the wake of another suspected Islamic assassination of a teacher in France, I told you. I think I told you guys about the assassination of the teacher in France. He was killed with a throat was cut, and then 2 other people were injured. I told you guys that on Friday. In the wake of the assassination of the teacher in France, the imam of the Parisian suburb of Drancy has called Emmanuel Macron's government to go further in its efforts to combat terrorism. Chalgoumi argued that any foreigner who is on the government's extremist watch list, which apparently is known as an S file for radical Islamism, should be removed from the country. This is exactly how you prevent this stuff from spreading and becoming like a malignant social cancer. Just, who those guys are. They're not citizens. Make them leave. Send them back where they came from. How is that not like obvious?
How many do you think are in America
that
that our law enforcement knows about?
I mean,
if you just had to make a random guess with how many immigrants have been over in the last 3 years since Biden's taken office?
I mean,
they say?
Yeah. I don't know how many they know about. Because the problem there is that like Google. The government's trying to track everything and they're incompetent AF. They are they have no idea what they're doing. So I don't know. We could have tens of thousands of already radicalized like saboteurs, and we could have maybe hundreds of thousands of people that are radicalizable, like that are able to be pushed just a little bit further.
Okay, so it's different here. June, the Highland County Press illegal crossings top 8 million since Biden took office. I always heard 7 million. The New York Post says a shocking 3.8 million. So at least the New York Post is saying 4 million, and the highest is 8 million. So out of, let's just say 6 million, how many, because I've always heard 7 out of 6 million illegal immigrants that's come over. That's an army, dude.
Oh yeah. Oh
And
yeah.
not all those 6 million illegal
course not.
immigrants are not that. But let's say out of 6,300,000 are.
Yeah. So, I mean, the Democratic policy is basically like bring in as many brown people as possible because they'll be Democratic voters. And the vast majority of those people are economic migrants that are just like looking to make some more money so that they can send it back home or just enrich their lives. And that's fine. And among the flood of those people, is it possible that thousands, let's say 5,000, that's a tiny number. Is it possible that 5,000 saboteurs and sleeper cell agents sneak into the country and go to predetermined places and wait for whatever signal?
Get a job and wait.
Yeah.
We'll give you a little bit of money every month to supplement you. Get a job and wait.
And 5,000 is nothing. We probably have 60,000.
Yeah.
Easy.
Yeah.
Easy. Anyway, so I mean, I just saw this story about this imam in France, just saying the obvious rational thing. Anybody says that in America, and you're a racist, Islamophobe, homophobe.
I don't know. America's kind of. I'm seeing a lot of people changing their stances. I mean, and even going to the extremes. The Muslim killing over the weekend in America. The guy that killed the mom and the little boy. Absolutely just disgusting. And this is what this shit causes. This is what this panic shit causes. And it causes discourse. And they not only have black people and white people fighting over here, they've got Christians and Muslims fighting over here. Everybody's fighting each other, and we don't realize that we're all being manipulated.
Wow. That is
every one of us are being manipulated.
Yeah.
We're all the same.
So let's talk about this horrible thing. Like, everybody agrees this is bad.
I got to talk in 1 minute. So if you want to make this quick, you can make it quick, and I don't care. It's terrible.
6-year-old Palestinian American boy murdered in a apparent hate crime in Illinois. This is the boy, Wadia Al-Fayoum, a 6-year-old Palestinian American boy, was stabbed to death on Saturday in his Plainfield, Illinois home in an apparent hate crime committed by his landlord, Joseph Zuba, who said something like all of you Muslims, look at this crazy person. Fuck. And this guy has obviously been like watching too much news or whatever and just went like crazy, you know? And just sucks. I had seen a quote in an earlier version of this story where he basically was saying that all the Muslims had to die. So, and this guy is bad and evil. And everybody on the right is going to say, this guy is bad and evil. None of this should have happened, you know? FBI Director Chris Wray said Saturday that there is an increased number of threats due to passions over the Israeli-Palestinian conflict in the wake of a massive terror attack by the Palestinian group Hamas on October 7th, which murdered 1,300 Israelis. More Palestinians are expressing outrage at Israel's subsequent war, which intends to remove Hamas from Gaza. So people are watching this stuff on the news. Maybe they're on Twitter. Maybe they're watching shows like this that are just trying to just talk about it so that people are aware. But, one of the dangers is that you get, one-off loners or whatever that get it into their mind that anybody that's Palestinian or Muslim is the bad guy when that's not the case. So I don't know, but I mean, like, this is the mass media, this is like the mass media hypnosis. And, I don't know what is wrong with human brains that they get fixated on something and then they start telling themselves a story and they believe that that's true.
It's not just human brains, dude. There's so many experiments that they've done with different things and shown that you can easily manipulate and convince things. There was the rat experiment where it was what was it? I think it was a monkey experiment. They took the
Oh, I
monkey,
know what you're talking about. I think I know
yeah,
what you're talking about. Where they had like 5 or 6 monkeys and they trained them like don't go up and get the banana. Every time they got the banana, they got water hosed.
squirted, yeah.
Yeah, and then they started swapping out one at a time the monkeys, and then they had by the end of the swap, they had 6
Generations
monkeys.
down, these monkeys did not go get the banana. They had no reason, they had no clue why they couldn't go get the banana, but
They just knew it was
that
bad.
they just knew that it was bad because the monkeys would beat the other new monkeys
Yeah.
that come in to try to go get the bananas. They would beat the shit out of it and be like, "Don't, we're all going to get squirted."
Yeah,
So,
yeah.
and then there was an experiment with some fleas. You know, fleas can jump like 30 times their body. That would be like us jumping over like a 6-story building or something like that.
Wow.
Just, so fleas can jump that far. So they put fleas in this little container and they put a lid over this container and so that they can only jump so far for so long. And
Okay.
then they took away, and the fleas would not jump out of the container at all. The baby fleas, the new generations of fleas, even though they could easily jump out of the container, would not jump out of the container. They stayed in the container the whole time. And they
That's
could easily
interesting.
jump out. Yeah.
Yeah.
And there's been other like experiments with mice and stuff and rats. And I mean, if you can brainwash, humans are easily brainwashed. It happens every day. It's happened for generations. Ashley and I were just talking about it this morning. And what did I say to her? I said, most of our change, I said, we have lived through the change. I forgot what we were talking about, but I was like, we have lived through this change in American society because our parents grew up one way and our children are another way. And we were children when this change happened. And I said, we lived through the change and we were just kids. She said, yeah, most of the changes were cultural, you know, the deterioration of the family being at the top.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, I mean, look, 50 years ago, people lived in neighborhoods and they may have changed jobs and moved or whatever, but that was a lot rarer, right? You often lived in the town you were like born in. 50 years ago, people didn't really have fences, and so you knew your neighbors. 50 years ago, people went to church and you communed with your community. So you knew your neighbors, the people down the street, you knew people in your city. You knew each other. That is not the same today. People are transitory. They move all over the place. When they do get houses and homes, they kind of fence themselves in and keep to themselves. And church attendance is down, so people are less. They have fewer common opportunities to bond with their members of their community. And when you interact with other people, that is what makes you tolerant of other people, right? It is the fact that you're mixing with people that are different than you that makes people less abrasive, right? And more willing to accept people that are different than them. But the more you isolate yourself and are not interacting with different people than you, well, then, I guess you can become a crazy old man and kill your clients. I don't know. It's nuts. The U.S. is deployed.
Like you said, you can become a crazy old man and kill your clients. You can become brainwashed very easily. Yeah. And there's a lot of people in this country that don't think on a on a level that the other people think on. They're a level below. And I'm not trying to say they're stupider or dumber, but that is a word that we use to describe someone that is, it's not a derogatory term. They are less intelligent, and it's not any big deal. It's just the fact that they're easily persuade. They're an easy mark. A con man, someone that has some intelligence and is devious, can easily convince you of something. And it happens all the time. And this guy was easily convinced.
And he didn't really probably have any pushback factors, right? He didn't have anything to like, hey, wake up.
Because in today's world, all I've got to do is I've got my Discord and my Twitter and my this and my that and all these, and I'm exposed to I've got horse blinders on. I'm only seeing what's in front of me, and I'm never seeing the opposite, because when we have an opposite opinion, we get mad, we shut down. There was a guy this weekend who was an old MCOC player that I still follow, and I saw he said, "I'm getting off Twitter because I'm tired of obviously my opinion doesn't matter, and I'm sick of arguing with people." And blah blah blah. I was like, "What's he talking about?" So I go back through and look at his messages, and he was like, he did not like Simu Liu in Shang-Chi.
Shang-Chi.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And he just didn't like Simu Liu, the actor. And I like him. I thought he did a good job, but he didn't like him. And another guy started arguing with him, like feverishly arguing with him because he didn't like Simu Liu and was like, "You are dumb. I can't believe, are you trying to trigger me?" Blah, blah, blah. And I was,
Wow.
so I typed to the dude that I know. I was like, don't let that shit get you. You voiced your opinion, and he's trying to tell you that because you voiced your opinion, you triggered him, and it enraged him. So, and even he responded very calmly and was like, "Hey man, I'm sorry that, that's my opinion. This is blah blah blah." And he still argued back with the dude. And I was like,
Yeah.
don't let this guy affect your life. You have now changed a part of your life to back away from the situation because you don't want to be a part of it anymore. That is what the enemy, whoever your enemy is relying on you to do, is to back away and turn the other cheek. And that is not what the word meek means. Okay. You have to draw your sword and use it sometimes, but you have to have the willpower to keep the sword in the sheath. Okay. You've got to have the willpower to keep the sword in the sheath. And that's very hard. But sometimes you've got to have the willpower to draw the sword and use the sword. And that's even harder.
Okay. So something that, you're talking about social media and basically like this kind of contamination of your thought process by, engaging in these arguments with people. But it can be really helpful for you to remember that, like, let's say Twitter. We're talking Twitter.
Okay.
Somebody posts something, somebody replies. You reply. This is a system designed to elicit an opinion, counter opinion. Boop, 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 boop. You're not going to convince anybody. No. And if you engage in Twitter thinking, I can say the thing that's going to turn your mind, it's never going to happen. You're never going to convince anybody in a tweet. It's
have you ever convinced anyone in a tweet?
No. And not just that, you can almost not convince anybody of anything.
That's interesting. That's food for thought. And those people are rare. Those are the more intelligent people that you're talking to when they're like, okay, I see your opinion, and that I'll think about that, or that's interesting. I will look more research into that. When you come across those people are the ones that you're like, okay, even though we've differed on this, I'm going to follow you because I respect you now because you've respected me. You've respected me, so I'm going to respect you. We disrespect each other on Twitter all the time. Here's my opinion. That guy disrespected him, and that guy was still, But it's like I said earlier, it's designed to make us all fight each other.
Yeah.
It's designed to make us all fight each other. Everything is.
All right. Let's keep stepping through the news here. The United States has deployed a second aircraft carrier as Israeli ground invasions of Gaza nears. The USS Eisenhower has been sent to the Mediterranean region to deter anyone seeking to escalate war after the Hamas attack. Do you have any, I don't know how much you're following the war thing right now. Israel is saying Palestinians in Gaza, get out of the north half of Gaza, get to the south half. Cause we're going to create a buffer zone. We're going to push you guys on the other side of that river, and we're going to stop this. And civilians they're creating corridors for civilians to migrate south, and they're destroying shit, which is causing a lot of photos and videos of destroyed cities and bombs, and it's furthering the narrative that Israel is just committing genocide, which I don't think is true. But you have a lot of pushback from Iran, especially Iran. Iran is saying, hey, if they keep doing this, we're going to get involved. And then if Iran gets involved, I mean, we're talking Russia and Iran being partners. The United States responds to support Israel. Now we've got a major conflict. So in the region, here's kind of like what it looks like. This is the Gaza Strip. Right across here, the north side is where they have been launching bombs and stuff, and the Palestinians are being kind of pushed south. I saw a graphic yesterday on Open Source Intel about the range of, let's say, the eyes of the U.S. fleet in the Mediterranean. It is enormous. As far as their radar can see, as far as their launch and strike ability, it's not just Israel and Palestine. It is like the entire Middle East. Is the United States putting a carrier, a fleet, an entire fleet in the region? Is this provocative, or is this going to slow things down from escalating? Do you have any thoughts about that at all? Like, let me see if I can find that image of
it. Doesn't look
maps.
like Palestine wants to negotiate at all with their actions. I'm just going by what their actions have been. It doesn't look like negotiations are on the table from their current actions and their past actions.
Right.
Like, you got to put their past actions into this. It always looks like Israel is like, "Hey, we'll come talk peace," and Palestine's like, "Nope." Every time.
Who would you even negotiate with?
I know.
There is no government for Palestine or Palestinians except Hamas. And Hamas is trying to keep people in the way so that people get killed. They're even, I saw a story this morning. Hamas killed like 70 Palestinians trying to flee south to get through the Rafah Gate or whatever that is to Egypt. They killed 70 Palestinians, including a bunch of kids, and because they tried to make it look like Israel had done it, because they're trying to keep their human shields in place.
Okay,
who do you even try to negotiate with?
All right, so you may not know this. Gaza is the coastal strip of land that lay on the ancient trading city and maritime routes along the Mediterranean shore. It's been inhabited for thousands of years and fought over by many, including Egyptian pharaohs, Babylonians, Philistines, Alexander the Great, who besieged and captured Gaza City, killing the men and enslaving women and children. It was a center of antiquity, part of the Philistine Confederacy of 5 cities along the coastal plain. It features prominently in biblical accounts, including the battles of King David. In later centuries, Romans, Mongols, Crusaders, and later Napoleon conquered it. Christianity spread there, and tiny Christian community in Gaza still exists. And 1,400 years ago, Islamic armies invaded. It was part of the Ottoman Empire for most of the period of the 16th century until 1917, when it was taken by British troops during World War I. Over the last century, Gaza passed from British to Egyptian to Israel military rule and is now fenced-in enclave inhabited by about 2.3 million Palestinians, most of them refugees. And then they go through a bunch of other stuff. So that strip of land has been fought over for centuries.
Yeah. Okay. This is one of the radar maps, so you can see the eye line of the USS Gerald Ford and the Normandy. I mean, like our ability to see what's going on in there is enormous. So as far as oh, you want to see that again?
Map. Yeah, go back.
As far as what you're saying, like, oh, before Israel it was so and so, and before them it was so and so, and before that it was so. I've been hearing these arguments for a little while, and like. And it's the same kind of arguments as like, oh, before, Americans were here, the Native Americans, and they had the land or whatever. And I find this argument, I think we have to just say it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter what it used to be.
Okay, so you got to put yourself in their shoes. So look at this picture, and so the Mediterranean Sea ends there, right there. That's the end of the freaking highway. So back then, the major trade routes ended there. So you had these major cities there. These were major hubs of activity and very important pieces of land. So whoever was rich and whoever controlled this controlled all almost all of the exports in and out of Africa and especially the East. You controlled all of the exports. So it's always been fought over. So think of you living there and born over there, being whatever you are, you would be like, dude, this city has got history to it. This is my history. My great down 50 freaking thousand times fought in and lived in this city. I love this city. I will fight for this city. So I can see why they're wanting
absolutely to get that emotional kind of rhetoric.
Ancient city. You know, and that right there, I mean, it's a great little example that shows if you know history and you know the trade export and all that, this was one of the major ones, man. Look at that.
Yeah. But this argument of like, well, before you guys were here, we were here. Well, before them, somebody else was here.
Right.
So like everybody should leave because like your grandpa's dad's cousin had a farm here or something like that. Look, I'm sympathetic to that. The fact that you were conquered, but you were conquered.
Right.
You were conquered. So that's not a good enough excuse for terrorism as though that should just be allowed to go on. I mean, there's no like obvious like, oh, this is just and right. No, what there is like there's a country.
there's not, but they don't look at it that way. They don't look at it as terrorism. They look at it as extreme war. It's war. Yeah. They have been oppressed for so long, and I'm not defending them at all. I'm just trying to be the person that thinks you've got to think like your enemy, or you're never going to defeat your enemy. You know, you've got to think like the opposing side, and what would they think and what would they do, or you're never going to be smart enough to beat them. So
this kind of oppression, like narrative, like for sure, when your people are telling you you've been oppressed for so many, like this really like kind of like pushes into your mind and like it makes you feel like you've been unjustly treated and therefore deserving of some sort of recompense. The oppression. I don't look, maybe there's oppression, maybe there's not. But you know what? One of the things I've been hearing is like, oh, the Israelis are cutting off water and they're cutting off electricity. And, you know, oh no, Gaza, people in Gaza are going to have no water. I looked into it a little bit. 92% of the water in Gaza is from an aquifer. Something like 2 or 3% is from Israel pumping water in from like desalination plants or something like that. It's a fraction of their water supply, and they cut off like 2 or 3%, as in like, we're just not going to pump it over there anymore. You guys just got your own water. And but it's treated as though like Israel's committing a war crime. Meanwhile, the Gazans took the water pipes for those, and they chopped them into missile tubes and made missiles out of their water pipes. All right, let's move on.
Yeah, I don't want to talk about the war anymore.
Yeah.
All right, I got one more. You got a funny story here, but I want to get to AI news.
Okay, well, let's click through these. Let me do these real two, and then we'll do the funny one, and then we'll do the AI. Accidents
already covered.
We kind of talked about the illegal aliens. I just want to
running short on time.
Yeah. The Biden administration accidentally revealed that they know that there's exactly 5.7 million illegal aliens that they're hiding in the United States. Okay, they have not been admitting.
It was 6.
Yeah. They have not been admitting how many there were. They accidentally were like, well, somebody has to take care of these 5.7 million people. And somebody was like, what? So they know exactly how many there are. Okay. So we'll just move on from that. Also, St. Louis won a cool contest recently.
I saw that. They're close to me, about 3 hours away. And we usually go up there and enjoy lots of concerts. I mean, I actually seen plenty of concerts up there. I've been to many Cardinals games, St. Louis Cardinals games. And it's awesome. Yeah, I love St. Louis, but I don't think I'm going to be visiting here in the near future.
Yeah. So there was this kind of cool little contest thing of like 180 cities in the United States, and St. Louis won, which I was surprised. I was like, really, St. Louis? And it's not Chicago or Washington, D.C.? No, St. Louis, Democrat-run St. Louis is the most dangerous city in America. Most dangerous. Okay.
Let me tell you. No, wait a minute. Let me tell you. You know how Chicago, they say Chicago's a dangerous city, but it's only 90% of the stuff happens in one section of Chicago.
Oh, okay.
You know, St. Louis is the same way. All right. St. Louis proper is normal crime.
Yeah.
East St. Louis You don't go to East St. Louis. Everyone around here knows you don't go, especially if you're white. You don't go. You don't get off the exit. You don't stop at the stop signs. We went one time with my ex-wife. We went up there. Her family had a lot of money, and they lived in over on the other side of the river from St. Louis in a really nice neighborhood. And we were going to a Cardinal game. And he told me on the way there, because he drove this really nice, it was an Escalade or something at the time. And he was like, "Look, I'm just going to let you know, we're going to go through East St. Louis to get there because it's faster," and because he lived there. And he was like, "And I'm not stopping at red lights and stop signs. We will roll to a pause and then we'll keep going." And I know why he did it. I know why he did. I saw it with
carjacked.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Yeah. So East St. Louis is probably, what I'm saying as a person from around here, is East St. Louis is probably a majority of that crime. I'm not trying to justify it. I'm just trying to give facts. It's probably a majority of that crime.
Let's see. Oh, yep. East St. Louis did some defunding of police. Would you believe that? That's crazy. All right. Hey, let's take a minute to celebrate some sports and athletes. Once again, we have some amazing athletes. There was a Chicago's Cyclocross Cup bicycle race. Amazing. And once again, we have demonstrated that America produces some of the most powerful, fascinating, fast women athletes in the world. And we have two here. Tessa Johnson, 25, won first place in the women's single speed, and Evelyn Williamson, who's 30, won the second place in the October 7th event, according to the Daily Mail. Now, these powerful female athletes,
M-A-L-E or M-A-I?
I'm sorry. I said female. These powerful women athletes are two male-born racers that stood on the podium. So, oh shit, there's a photo.
Gross.
Here we go. These women, let's just celebrate the womanhoods there. They're just pushing the women entirely off the podium. It's just going to be the men's race and the other men's race. That's what it's going to be. All right. Jeez. That's a woman? Gross. Okay.
Yeah, can't you
All
see
right.
her Adam's apple?
Yeah. Oh, boy.
Okay.
All right.
AI news.
Now it is time, ladies and gentlemen, for AI News.
Beep, bop, boop. This is AI News.
I can't do the Reuters story because there's an ad blocker or whatever. So you want to do that Reuters story?
I got you, man. I got you. So I just wanted to mention this. This might be a nice step in the right direction, but the U.S. has taken some steps to prevent. The U.S. will take steps to prevent American chip makers from selling semiconductors to China that circumvent government restrictions. The new rules, details of which Reuters is reporting for the first time, will be added to sweeping U.S. restrictions on shipments of advanced chips and chip-making equipment to China unveiled last October. The updates are expected this week. Other people familiar with the matter said that such timetables often slip. The new rules will block some AI chips that fall just under the current technical parameters while demanding companies report shipments to others. So I know that's a bunch of jargon, but if you read through the article, you will see that this is a nice little move in the right. It's a long article. It's a nice little move in the right direction because we get all of our chips from China, and it would be nice if we started making those. But chips require certain
Taiwan, right? Taiwan.
Yeah. Well, what do you think?
Taiwan, China.
So I just wanted to mention that this was really cool story. All right. And I know what you're going to say about this. Continue without disabling. Do you have an Android or an iPhone?
Oh, Android. I don't iPhone. No, sir.
Okay. All right.
I do.
All
not.
right. You're superior.
So I use Android.
Do you use Hey Google?
Like,
it didn't hear. My phone didn't hear it. I wonder if it's set off.
Don't do it. Don't do it. We did that to Dave last week. He was like, "I hate you guys."
So if you use the assistant on that, there's a new assistant called they're putting Bard into the assistant basically. Okay, so it's going
Think it's
to
there
take
yet, or is it not yet?
no, it's going to be a more conversational tool. All right. They said that what's it called? I read this story and I cannot freaking find this. The new offering combines the robustness of Google Assistant with the generative capabilities of Bard. It aims to transition the role of digital assistants from mere command executors to intuitive, intelligent, and personalized allies. All right, there's a part in here that I want to point out. The system is being designed to understand, adapt, and handle personal tasks, whether it's planning trips, sifting through blah 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 blah. All right, this isn't just a digital assistant in the traditional sense. Assistant with Bard is set to provide an experience that extends beyond voice. Users will be able to interact through text, voice, and even images. And what's groundbreaking is its capability to act on a user's behalf, further enhancing the digital experience. Let me read you that sentence again, JJ.
What do you mean, dude?
And-
What are you talking about?
What's groundbreaking is its capability to act on the user's behalf, further enhancing the digital experience. They just inserted that little sentence in there that you just kind of skim through the article, not really reading. During the unveiling of Google Pixel 8 and Pixel 8 Pro, the imminent integration of Google's Bard into the assistant ecosystem was confirmed, integrating what some might call a revolutionary leap for voice assistants. There was another when I was reading.
Are they saying it can bank for you? Are they saying it can buy stocks for you? Spend your
No,
money
I'm
for you?
thinking what it can do is that if the government decides that they don't like you and they're going to shut you out, it can confirm to
Turn
close
off your
bank
AC?
accounts for you. Right here it is. One of its highlighted features will enable users to ask for summaries of unread emails in their Gmail box. It can access and analyze these emails, providing summaries. Beyond textual data, it boasts an ability to interpret visual context like photos. User can have captions for their social media images generated. It can do a lot. I don't remember
Okay,
what it was.
so they're gonna let it in your email. They already let it in your email.
Well,
have you seen
yeah.
ads in your email? They're looking at what you're talking about, and
that wasn't what I was looking for. I've lost what I was looking for. And it's an interesting article. Look that up. There's one more
AI in your pocket. AI in your pocket.
One more that's going to that you might like, JJ. You'll see what you think
All
about
right,
this
let's
one.
see what we see.
Look at this glorious painting here.
Oh, why is homeboy? Oh, I see what's going on. This is Neuralink, huh? This is
Neuralink.
Elon giving the living God Elon giving the healing the sick and the maimed and letting them walk and talk again. Is that what's going on?
So Neuralink, if we don't know what Neuralink is, it's just it's short term. It is for helping people with paralysis. Is what it's being sold as. It had created flexible threads that can be implanted into the brain, along with a sewing machine-like robot to do the implanting. The idea is that these threads will read signals from the paralyzed patient's brain and transmit that data to an iPhone or computer, enabling the patient to control it with just their thoughts. No need to tap or swipe. So far, Neuralink has only done testing on animals, but in May, the company announced that it won FDA approval to run its first clinical trial in humans. Now it's recruiting paralyzed volunteers to study whether the implant enables them to control external devices. If the technology works in humans, it could improve the quality of life for millions of people. Approximately 5.4 million people are living with paralysis in the U.S. alone. JJ, my question is, if they are doing this on paralyzed people, how long have they been doing this on volunteer soldiers?
I don't know. Is this a category of technological development where Elon is ahead of the military industrial complex? I'm not sure. You don't think so?
You don't think that if... Yeah, no. I think someone else besides this has this technology and has been for a long time. I firmly believe the technology that we see today, if they brought out a brand new technology today and they're like, look at this. It's brand new. That hasn't been brand new. I honestly believe we have gravity drives. I honestly believe that we
What?
have known about gravity drives, the G drive, for decades. Honestly, that's honestly what I believe.
I don't know. Okay, so
I bet I've read more on that. than you.
Elon, you probably have. Elon is pretty critical of AI. So, but I think he knows that it's a strong tool. And the thing about AI in this Neuralink thing is that they can put this chip and embed the little threads or whatever, and then the AI in the Neuralink can learn how you interact, because every brain is similar, but all of them are different. So you can't make like one Neuralink thing and stick it in and it work the same for everybody. So the AI kind of has to like map how your brain works in order to start fixing things.
So how long is it going to take the AI to figure out what the human brain does and what it controls and how it controls everything and it helps us? But how long will it take before that AI realizes that, oh, all I've got to do is make one little thing right here and the human belongs to me?
Yeah. Yeah. Like I'm helping
orders.
I'm helping this guy lift his arm because I can fire these two electrons or protons or whatever, and it like stimulates muscle movement. Okay, that's helpful. And it turns out if I go over here and fire these two, he will not vote against restricting AI.
He won't vote for Trump. That son of a bitch.
Yeah.
I'm just gonna make him not vote for Trump. We just
Wow.
get Trump out of office. All right.
So how about this? How
we
about
don't even have our cool little thing up, dude? What the hell? Oh, that's
I moved him
Whoops,
around.
whoops.
There's our AI news guy. Hey, what if like Neuralink? This is like a first world type of technological development. Americans get Neuralink to help people that are lost their voice and lost ability to move, whatever, medical, and then it becomes like, oh, second generation, slightly recreational. You can interact with your phone a little bit better. And then it gets more widely deployed. So let's say 40% of Americans get Neuralink for work, for whatever reasons, the advantages there are. And then Russia, Iran, China, whoever hacks the system so that they can start literally beaming messages right to your brain. Neuralink.
This is a Black Mirror episode. All right.
Man, that's going to be a dangerous time to live. And I'm not putting robots in my skull.
Hey, wait, let's see if I have a fun story in my secret stash. No, I don't have a fun story. I have another AI story. All right, there's your bonus AI
I thought there was
story.
a fourth one.
Here's my bonus AI story for you today. AI has decoded an ancient Greek word from this scroll. AI has read ancient Greek word from text damaged by Vesuvius, marking a major milestone in decoding the Herculaneum scrolls. The Greek word "bu," which translates to purple in English.
Oh my God.
Purple, though, was, if you don't know about the color purple, JJ, purple was very, very hard to produce. It was very hard to produce. How they produced it would cost, I don't know the logistics around how they did it with the plants or whatever, but whatever plant it was very hard to produce. So it was a very expensive color. If you had fabric that was purple, it was a very expensive. And if you wore purple, that means that automatically meant that you could look at somebody wearing purple and thought, oh, rich. They have money. They're rich. So mostly the royalty. You know, it was another thing that usually pointed out the rich people that they don't tell you in history because all the paintings are false. One very obvious sign that person is rich.
Fat.
They're fat. They're seriously, think about that on a logical level. They have enough money to overeat. They're fat. They're rich. They can eat.
Yeah. So. Fat people used to rule the world. Now we're being shamed into oblivion.
So I thought that was cool. AI. So going back to what we said like last year, AI is going to end up reading all these languages and stuff that we can't read.
Yeah. I mean, okay. So when you said the color purple, I was thinking like how many thousands of dollars in resources, how how much development, whatever, went into this project so that this word could be deciphered, and it's just like, oh, it's purple.
But that's cool, though. We have deciphered the word purple, so we know every one of those letters now that correspond with those other letters. Now we can take
Yeah.
those other letters and correspond them and try to figure out what the hell. So I think it's
So-
a nice little baby step.
Let me ask you a question, because I hadn't thought about this before just now. Do you think the researchers and the AI are mindful of the fact that there could be typos on these on these papyrus and these stone things? Maybe
I mean, I've seen the guys that spray paint school on the and misspelled school on the ground. So yes, I guess if you're sitting there chiseling shit, and I'm
So,
sitting there
the
chiseling
AI
for 3 days, and I realize, holy shit, I misspelled it. I ain't doing this over again. Fine, it's just got a Y in it now.
yeah. It could be something like the AI is like, this manuscript says that all humanity must be killed by 2035. And then it's actually like, no, that's not what it
30,
said.
30, 25.
3025. Whoops.
I ain't
AI
going
took
back
over and
do
was
that
like,
whole thing
look,
again."
you guys made me read this thing. This thing said I got to kill you. I don't know what I'm supposed to do. Let's set off some nuclear bombs.
Jeez. All right.
We were out shopping this weekend, and I saw we went to Barnes and Noble. You know, you got books and you got like knickknacks and stuff like that. I don't know how recently been to a Barnes and Noble. Nobody goes. But I saw a calendar, and I picked it up and I took it to my wife. I was like, "Hey, wife, what do you think about this?" And the calendar said 365 dad jokes, and she said, "You don't need that." She said, "Go put that back."
And that's why you have her, JJ. She
Yeah,
helps
I
you
know.
make, she helps
I
you
was
make
like,
good decisions.
Hey, look at this. This would be a useful resource. No, it won't. won't.
See, she helps you and you don't realize it.
Yeah, I know.
All right, so this is the time of the day where JJ and I read
Joke
dad
time.
jokes to each other, or we read dad jokes to you because we're two dads and we like to
Yeah.
tell dad jokes. I am now 18 and
You got a lot.
I
think it's 18. Yeah.
okay.
You're
So
definitely
when I
18.
get to 20, I'm
Yeah.
going to give you a toss up.
Oh.
I got a toss up for you that's good.
Oh.
But you should be able to
alright.
get it very easily.
Oh, okay. Hey,
I'm
like
saving
a softball.
saving
You're
it.
gonna
Yeah.
toss
I'm
one
just
at me. Okay.
tossing one up to you.
Even the score up so it doesn't look so bad.
Yeah, at least it's 20-1. It's not a shutout.
Okay.
I don't want to
that's a
keep the
good idea.
clock running. All right.
You don't want this game to be a shutout.
No. All right.
Okay. What do you got? You want to go first, or you want me? I'll go first. How about this? What do you get when you cross a snowman with a vampire? Snowman, vampire. Go.
Oh, I've heard this one before, but I sure don't remember it. I don't remember it. I'm not even going to try to think. Frostbite. Yeah, that's right. Jeez.
Yeah,
Okay. That's
yeah.
I remember that. All right.
Sorry,
So,
there's no boo sounds today because Windows.
so when I was a boy, I had this disease that I probably haven't told you about, but it required me to eat dirt 3 times a day in order to survive. Yeah.
Okay.
It's a good thing my older brother told me about it, or I would not be sitting here today.
Oh man, he saved your life.
He saved my older brother. He saved my life.
Good grief. All right, guys. Hey, if you haven't already, like, subscribe, share the show, something, whatever. Let's grow. Let's get more people over here to hang out. Rumble.com/JJW. I think maybe we should just stop broadcasting on YouTube. I don't know.
I don't even care.
Yeah, I know.
I go
All
to
right.
YouTube to listen to music.
Yeah. All right.
Bye.
That's all we
Check
got
your
today. We'll
oil.
be back. Yeah.
Check
Right.
the oil in your car. It's getting winter. You're gonna have to
Yeah.
winterize your car.
Yeah. You might need to go up a viscosity or something, right?
No.
No.